What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. The latest patch is out for Madden 21. And it just seems more and more like we are playing a beta. The people paid for the privilege to test this game. You look at the key highlights here: new abilities added, gameplay fixes and tuning, and then I love how this is written: franchise, MUT, yard bug, and performance fixes. Working from home has really shown EA struggles to get their message out. I believe they meant the yard and performance and bug fixes, but regardless, that must be in alphabetical order. As we get to the actual changes, that had to be in alphabetical order. So, gameplay updates, new abilities. I've talked about this at length. Abilities are not enough now. We need to actually see gameplay improvements. And we just don't see that consistently enough. Look at this update to the yard. I'm not going to go through these because I don't play the yard, but look at all these things, okay? When we get to franchise, look at how little is there. So they fixed an issue where you had freezing issues going through the formation screen. That should be resolved way before this game gets printed. Fixed an issue with slow sim for PS4 users. Listen, I got away from my PS4 this year, been on the Xbox One. It runs the game much better. I was a huge Sony fanboy, but that's just what it is, okay? General stability improvements. Why don't you tell us what you fixed? Make this list longer. Make it look like you did more. After 3 years, they have fixed the issue with veteran players getting votes for Rookie of the Year awards, and then they went through and just updated how the game cloud saves because it didn't have your league name included. You'd get all types of confused, and they added abilities into franchise mode. Again, when you talk about this, you're not seeing a lot of fixes. They also did have the audio cutscene, which was just shown at the end phase of the franchise, put back in. The fact that this game launched with a story mode that did not have audio tells me all I need to know about how much they actually played and cared about this product. Moving forward, though, when we talk about what they did to fix this game, okay, updated quarterback slide functionality, modified the journal animation. I hope that means they fixed it so you don't have the precision hurdle modifier going through the game, but I have not checked that yet. They fixed an issue that would allow the quarterback to enter a tackle animation when sliding. Get rid of animations, this won't happen. And everything else is just subtle fixes. The rare issue where a ball carrier just runs after scoring a touchdown, that's been happening for years and it's not all that rare. They run into the wall and then they stay running into the wall. You have all these issues where ball carriers stumble, go into the line. It's not an issue where they're doing that. The issue is the animations don't blend well enough, and they can't branch. When you talk about fixes to the defense, zone coverage this year, and I'll do a video on this separately, has been one of the worst zone coverage years I can remember. And when you look at what they're doing, they're fixing issues where motion issues are caused. They're fixing issues where they shouldn't have these things in the game. If you're going to motion receivers, they need to set, just like in the NFL, before you snap the ball. Period. That way, even when the game is broken like they're discussing here, you can manually control someone or you can assign someone yourself to go actually check them and guard them. That doesn't happen in this game. When they talk about what's going on in terms of the man defenders getting into bad positions versus motion wheel routes, the real problem is the game doesn't know how to cover the motion for the wheel. So they have a linebacker go out and face guard, and then the safety or corner doesn't come down fast enough. That's not an issue. That's poor programming. That's the game logic not being properly implemented for someone to pick up their defensive read and go down and cover an open player. You can't just address an issue. You actually have to fix the coding. And I don't know how you're doing that in a patch. You haven't done it in a whole year dev cycle. So how are you doing it all of a sudden in a patch? Unless, like I said, we were just playing a demo. When you're going and fixing multiple defensive alignment issues caused by just motioning the slot receiver, that tells me you aren't looking at what's going on enough with your game to actually understand what the issues are. We have seen this happen year after year after year. People will not only motion a receiver to determine what the defense is, they'll do multiple things with that motioning receiver to run picks, to confuse AI, to obviously snap the ball while the player's still in motion and not get a penalty. All those things are caused from the game not being fixed at its core. And you can say that you're going in and adjusting all these things, but you're not fixing these things. These things need to get fixed in a dev cycle, not band-aided on a patch. And you certainly at this point have to say, I believe 5 patches in, this game came out unfinished. Look no further than the fact that in the biggest mode they hyped this year, Face of the Franchise, the closing sequence had no audio. The closing sequence had no audio. So no one sat there and played the entire game mode that they worked on to realize when you get to the end, you can't even hear what happens? And you're going to sit here and try to tell me that this was a finished product? You know, we're going into week 3 in the NFL. This game's lifespan, as far as being played, guys, it's over. Most people that have the game have played it. And by the way, until this patch, the game was still free. Now, if you want to know my thoughts on why the game was free, I'll leave them to the fact that they hoped someone would go into the game, buy the game, and then purchase some yard clothing or purchase some Ultimate Team packs, and they needed to make sure that that was saved within your profile when you went to upgrade the game from the trial version. So this didn't allow them to do the best case scenario for everyone, which is stand by your product. Stand by your quality and say, you know what, we're going to put a demo out for free this weekend, download this separate file, and then if you want to buy the game in full, it's right here for you. But they care about what? Microtransactions. So they had to find a way to get people into the game without actually buying it, and the way that got accommodated was very simple. They patched the game so that even the people that had bought it had to download another patch so that people could play for free what they'd already purchased. And then from there, they found a way to make sure that the patch would somehow close off the free trial, but they never did it. So now they obviously had to get to yet another patch point. When you look at what they work on, when you look at what their focus is, it's ridiculous to me that they even put in a yard mode when there's still so much broken. This screen right here, this defensive coverage AI, to me doesn't scream, go work on another game mode. Go put something else in this game. Go put backyard football in this game. I respect and understand that there's people in this community that love that game mode, enjoy that game mode, and play that game mode. And that's okay. But guess what? Madden is bigger than the yard. Madden is simulation football. And I didn't even touch on what they did to Madden Ultimate Team because I don't care. Madden Ultimate Team is fighting its own battle in repetition. I've seen multiple players come out and say, we're tired of buying the same cards year after year after year. The luster of Bo Jackson is gone for these people. The luster of Shannon Sharp is gone for these people. Many of these people are just now seeing this game as a gamer in their gaming life, if you will, that have never seen some of these players. They can't relate to Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl. They don't know who Dick Night Train Lane was. They only know Dick LeBeau as the guy that used to be the coordinator for the Steelers. They have no idea that he had a playing career. Yet Madden continues to try to push players to want these Legends cards when they have no emotional connection to them. None. So they're going to be disinterested. So guess what? On the 5th year of Bo Jackson, some people don't care anymore. Now, sure, you're going to have, Deion Sanders always be loved. Peyton Manning always be loved. But those are players that are a much bigger star to really anyone than you would have some of these other players. I'm sorry. I love Marvin Harrison as a Colts receiver, but I understand there's a lot of players that aren't going to make a big connection to him in Madden Ultimate Team. I love Reggie Wayne. I'm a Colts fan. Of course, those are two of my favorite players, right? But I respect that a casual fan might not care about either one of them, much less want to spend $10, $15, $20 on their card. They're going to look for Jerry Rice card, right? They want the legend. But it seems like EA has gotten stagnant and stale in every aspect of this game. And what they're not stagnant and stale on, they struggle to actually create a viable product for. The yard needing all those updates is just another prime example. There's not one part of this game that was ready at launch. There's not one part of this game that has not needed to be patched, fixed, or updated since this game was released. Let that sink in. It's week 3. We go through this every year with EA Sports. Every year, we're sitting here week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. And you're still patching this game. There is no reason that we can't have an experience like the show has, where every week you're actually putting us back in actual game sequences. Here's what happened at the end of the Falcons-Cowboys game. We go into it. The uniforms are exactly the way they were. The players are exactly the way they were. And you go and you play out that whole sequence. Maybe you recover the onside kick instead of standing and looking at it. I don't know. Right? But everything should be point by point exactly the same. We don't even get that. We get roster updates, and they're not even all that timely. And they wonder why people set this game down for the next game that comes out. Not even the next big game, just the next game. What's coming out next? Because I want to be done with this game. But we all know what comes out Friday. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. You know I will be back, because Madden is going to patch this game at least another 5 times, guys, in the week with more commentary.